Hey everybody, it's your boy Duel, back with another video. Today we'll be looking at episode 13 of the Spectacular Spider-Man. This episode is titled Nature vs. Nurture, and this is the season finale of Season 1 of the Spectacular Spider-Man. It's been a long journey, and I just want to say if you've made it this far in the journey with me, I just want to say thank you. This episode was directed by Victor Cook, and it was written by Kevin Hops. Now, just to recap really quick, last time we saw Spider-Man, he was dealing with his morality and fighting off the symbiote, and he got rid of the symbiote at the end of the day after talking to Flash Thompson, snapping him back to normal. And after he did that, he tried to dispose of it, and he threw it into like a frozen containment chamber, and he tried to freeze it, and then he flew away. And as he flew away, Eddie Brock got the symbiote, and he became Venom. And so now, we start off by Spider-Man taking down some bank robbers on a rooftop. And I just want to say that the animation mixed in here is some solid 2D and 3D animation, and it's pretty good. Spider-Man's fighting them for quite a while, but eventually, he does in fact, to no one's surprise, take all the criminals down. Afterwards, he goes to visit Tombstone, where he tells him the deal is off, and to keep the lights on because he's coming for him. After he leaves Tombstone's office, shortly after, a black figure appears, and he arrives telling Toomey that he'll take the job opening. And the intro starts. After the intro, Toomey says that if he really wants a job, he'll have to prove himself. Pass one simple test. Destroy Spider-Man. Now, really quick note is that something about Tombstone is that he doesn't even question who this guy is. He doesn't even go, oh man, this guy's kind of like Spider-Man. I don't really want to work with you. He doesn't even think about that. Just immediately is like, oh, you want to work for me? Fine, all right. Go take care of Spider-Man. That's it. It doesn't say who is your name, who are you, what are you, where did you come from, anything of that nature. Nothing like that happens. He just says, Spider-Man's a big problem for me. Get rid of him and I'll pay you. That's fine. It's done. So I just thought that was kind of funny. So Venom says that he's hoping that, we were hoping you'd say that. And Venom asks, can I have a little fun first? And Tombstone says that he doesn't micromanage. And so then he pretty much smiles and then he leaves. We transition over to the hospital where May is resting. Peter reminds himself that with great power comes great responsibility, but shouldn't his first responsibility be to the people who rely on Peter Parker? Peter goes to school where he thanks Flash for giving him a reality check. Flash says not to mention it. Seriously, don't mention it. Don't tell anybody. Flash runs away and Peter's friends run up, asking how May's doing. Pete fills in everybody and he apologizes to everyone before in the previous episode about his behavior. Liz grabs Pete's hands, asking if he'll be at the parade to help with the balloon. Pete says, sorry, I can't. I gotta, if the doctor gives the all clear, I gotta take May home. Gwen then quickly grabs Pete's hands and asks if he's going back to the hospital because she'll go with him. And she's very eager, and she kind of picks up. She's like self-aware that she's being too eager, so then she dials it down. It's like, I better get back to class. MJ stops Peter as before everyone splits up to tell him that, she went out with Eddie, but to warn Peter that Eddie only went out with her to get to him. And Pete's like, things been rough, but no, he's still my bro. We're still bros at the end of the day. And I'm just like, I don't think he's your bro anymore. So then Pete calls Eddie to apologize about him losing his job and all that. And Eddie answers the phone as he peels back his Venom suit. And he says, appreciate the call. And he tries to schedule a meetup with him, but he's like, sorry, I gotta go see May. And he's like, don't worry about it. We'll see each other soon enough, Spider-Man. May wakes up and the doc says that she's free to go home the next day to cook turkey dinner. I don't know why I said that so weird, but moving on. Pete says, don't worry about it. I've got it covered. How hard could it be? He goes home and he starts to cook the turkey dinner, but it turns out it's a lot harder than he thought. And it ends up being a complete disaster very quickly. After the disaster in the kitchen, some time passes, and Pete's late, so he suits up, and he notices his shoes on the ground, and he tries to grab it, but he hits his head on the desk, knocking free his gene cleanser. and this reminds him that this is the same gene cleanser that he used to take down the lizard. Peter starts to question why he's Spider-Man. Why does he do the things that he does? Spidey saved a lot of people, but, do I do this for the thrill? Or, who is this guy? While contemplating this, Venom yanks Pete out of his room, and it can be noted that Peter does not have his mask off in this situation. Pete hurries, as he's confused, to put his mask back on, and Venom says, "You don't have to wear a mask with us." Spidey starts to talk to the symbiote, thinking it's just the alien, but he realizes quickly that he is taking another host. The symbiote says that it's someone better to suit our gifts. Their plan? To be poison to Peter Parker and Spider-Man. We're Venom! Spidey and Venom begin to fight, but Venom quickly gets the upper hand. Venom ties up Spidey with his symbiote goo, saying taking him down would be too easy. They want to take him apart, piece by piece. Hit him where it really hurts. Venom says he knows everyone he cares about, and he takes off. Peter, now realizing the urgency of the situation, watches Venom flee, and he screams, "No!" Spidey eventually gets free, and he heads straight to the hospital to get to May, but while swinging, he runs into a Venom symbiote trap in the sky between buildings, and it says, "Guess who?" written in symbiote. Venom is about to go after May when Spidey swoops in, tackling him. It can be noted this is the first time we've actually seen Spider-Man get mad at a villain, besides when he was wearing the symbiote, so it doesn't really count. This time, he's actively mad trying to take down this villain. He ain't quipping. You going after his family here, so he ain't messing around, okay? While fighting, Spidey screams at Venom, saying that he's not going to get near her. They fight for a little while, tossing and turning over the buildings, and Venom obviously getting the upper hand. Venom eventually gives up, says, "That's fine. They're not our only target after all. We know who you love the most, bro." Spidey quickly figures out that this is Eddie behind the mask. Eddie? Venom disappears while Spidey tries to think who else Eddie would think that he loves. Mary Jane. We transition to the parade where Pete is looking for MJ, and he spots MJ, but she's with Flash. And he's like, well, it's gross, it's Flash, but at least Flash is not some evil symbiote monster that he knows of. Spidey points out that the spider sense should let him know if Venom tries any surprise attacks. Flash is trying to put his arm around MJ, but MJ figures this out pretty quickly and moves away from it. She wants to go cheer on Gwen until she realizes that Gwen is with Eddie. Spidey sees Eddie and then chases after Gwen. He's trying to get to her, and he runs into a random band member, and everyone in the crowd's freaking out because it's, oh my god, it's Spider-Man! Spider-Man ends up not being able to find Gwen until she's tied up onto a balloon, held up by symbiote goo. Spidey's about to go save her until Venom interrupts. "What's the matter, bro? Spider sense didn't tingle?" Pete realizes that with the symbiote being on him for so long, that his spider sense did not register as a threat. He tries to reason with Eddie, asking him, "Hey, fight the symbiote. Don't let it control you." Eddie's like, "There's no one being controlled here. We simply share the same desire, your destruction." Spidey tries once again to reason with Venom to save Gwen. "Don't do this, bro!" Venom says, "We aren't brothers! You had your aunt and uncle, but I've always been alone. Until now." And they keep fighting, of course. This fighting goes on for quite a while. Spidey seems to get a couple swings in, but Venom obviously gets the upper hand. And as this is going on, MJ is with Flash, and she realizes that Gwen is dangling from a balloon. Spidey and Venom are fighting on that balloon. As Gwen is tied to that same balloon, Spidey baits Venom into slashing the balloon. And he says something like, because earlier in the episode, Venom slashes Pete's costume open. And he's like, "I'll deal with the red, blue, and slashed," or something like that. Emily will probably correct me, but so he baits Venom into slashing the balloon open, and Peter says, "Now shouldn't you all seen that coming?" Spidey swoops down and catches Gwen before she can fall, but as he's swinging, he gets punched by Venom out of the way, losing Gwen, and Peter screams no as Gwen starts to fall. Thankfully for Peter, his friends were ready for this, and they catch Gwen on her way down. And thank God for this, because if they didn't see Gwen, if MJ did not see Gwen, she would have been dead, like flat on the pavement. So let that soak in. That's a pretty scary thing to think about. But this is a cartoon, so they wouldn't go that far. Obviously, this isn't where Gwen dies. So at least not in this show, if at all, or ever. She doesn't die. I don't know what you're talking about. Spidey thanks them for their assist, and Flash says, no problem, get that creep. Venom keeps getting a one-up on Spidey. Spidey says, you know what? I'm throwing the flag. I give up. Symbiote's proven its point. Spidey holds his arms out, and he asks the alien to take him back. Eddie says that the symbiote found a better partner in me, and Venom points to himself. It's nice to notice here that he says me and not we anymore, so this means that the symbiote is contemplating this decision. Nice little touch by the writers. Signaling that the symbiote is tempted by this offer. Eddie screams, don't leave me. The Venom's symbiote leaves his body, and he passes out. I guess it, drained his energy. It makes sense. It was on Peter, and it didn't seem to drain his energy, but he's, a superhuman, so there you go. The alien gets back onto Peter, but quickly realizes that Peter has tricked it. Fool, you let us back in, but we will have you. The symbiote tries to take over Peter, but once again, he is toppled by Peter's morality and the power of his friends, with Gwen at the forefront. This is also pretty good foreshadowing. It quickly tries to crawl back to Eddie, realizing that Peter does not want the symbiote, but Pete swoops in and grabs it and puts it in a bag. He's like, yeah, I don't think you're getting away that easily. You're not so tough without your symbiote host. Pete takes off to dispose of the symbiote, leaving Eddie behind. So, real quick pause in the review. I just want to point out that this is a very weird decision by Spider-Man and Peter. He just leaves Eddie there on top of a building, passed out. And I waited till the end of the episode to see if he would come back to at least, get Eddie to a hospital to get checked out or something along those lines. But nope, he does not do that. That is never addressed, at least not in this episode. He just leaves him there. And that's it. He just, peace out, bro. Does not give a fuck. I mean, I know that, if any normal person was dealing with something like this, their selfish, evil nature would probably take over. Like, man, you just tried to kill one of our friends, so you can sit there and rot and think about what you've done, kind of thing. But I don't know. For me, that kind of threw me off. That's not something that Spider-Man would do. Spider-Man would still save Eddie no matter what. This could just be a misstep by the writers, leaving Eddie there. And maybe they address this later in a future episode. I don't know. And if they don't, I wouldn't be shocked. And I'm not going to be too upset about it, but I just wanted to talk about it because I thought it was interesting. This is not something that Spider-Man would do. He would definitely go out of his way, make sure Eddie, got the help that he needed, even though, because obviously Eddie's got some mental problems going on, right? He would still do what's right at the end of the day, no matter what. Right and true, red and blue, to the very end. Spidey finds a local construction site, and he puts the alien gunk in the cement goop, literally trapping the symbiote for life. Or is it? After he traps the symbiote, he goes home to find Aunt May. May says she got a ride home from Dr. Bromwell, and the doc says that everything is checking out A-OK. Gwen and Captain Stacy arrive to help out with Thanksgiving. They help out, and they clean up the kitchen from earlier when he made it a complete disaster, and they enjoy a nice dinner together. May says that the advance on her cookbook's gonna completely wipe up the medical bills, something that Peter was completely unaware of and is taken to shock by this. And he's like, well, I guess I'll have to write another cookbook. Do you think I'll get another advance for that? And so after that, Gwen and Captain Stacy take May upstairs where Pete is left alone with the dishes. And he's sitting alone by himself doing these dishes, coming to the realization that Spider-Man isn't just a disease that needs a cure. He's more than just a bug bite. It's who he is. It's his destiny. So he dumps the vial down the drain, and it forms this stench, and it grosses him out. Gwen and Captain Stacy are about to leave. Captain Stacy's packing up the car, and Gwen is saying goodbye to Peter. Peter tells Gwen that she's really amazing, and Gwen says goodnight, And as she's walking away, her footsteps go down the steps, but she quickly turns around, runs up the stairs, and she kisses Peter. And Peter is like completely taken aback by this. And he stands there, and he remembers what Venom said to him early in the episode. "We know who you love the most." And he was like, wow. Like, he was just shocked because the symbiote knew him better than he knew himself. So, well, there you go. It really got into his subconscious. So I thought that was a nice touch. So after that, that's the episode. And that is the season finale of season 1 of the Spectacular Spider-Man. Overall, my thoughts, I think this is a really good episode. It's nice to see that there is somebody, a bigger threat other than Spider-Man out there, besides the Green Goblin, obviously. So it was nice to see that, you know, Spider-Man couldn't just solve this with quips and some outsmarting. I mean, he does outsmart Venom in the end. It's just, you know, it wasn't as easy as 1, 2, 3. As I say that, my nitpick of this episode, so never mind, I retract my previous statement. It is as easy as 1, 2, 3. My complaint is that he takes Venom down in one episode. I kind of wish they would have made it where the symbiote gets away and not trapped in like the cement. That would leave it open-ended a little bit. But from what I understand, Venom does come back. I don't know in what capacity or how, so I'll be curious to see how that comes about. But fortunately for us, this is not the last of Venom. But overall, I think I'm going to give this episode a 4 out of 5. We finally do get Venom. It's just the way that, you know, Venom is defeated so easily. And the fact that Spider-Man leaves Eddie behind. So I subtract some points for that. And that's on the writers, though. That's not on Spider-Man. Spider-Man's still Spidey. He's always going to be, right? So, but overall, those are my thoughts. I don't really have much else to say. And obviously, you know, Gwen kissing Peter's a big deal. MJ kind of got introduced and then she got thrown to the side and now she's just friends. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens and what comes of that. But for now, that's going to be me on this episode. And I just want to say, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you're here, if you want to leave a like and a subscribe, it would mean the world to me. I appreciate it a lot. Really helps out the channel a ton. And remember, with great power comes great responsibility. I'm Dual Dyer, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.